Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to a new session of Jaltest webinars. The one of today is going to be dedicated to our OffHighway module and more specifically to show you the different possibilities that the software provides regarding some relevant bidirectional controls. Today, we'll go through different important calibrations and key resets that can be performed in the different electronic control units of different types of vehicles. Being able to perform these kind of calibrations on your own is what, at the end of the day, will give you that independence from the dealer and make your repair activities more efficient and more profitable. Just before starting, just to remind you that you have available the chat, just in case you have some questions and you want to ask something. My colleague Isidro is working over there, so he will be more than welcome to give answer to all your questions and doubts. And also, as it is usual for us, we are recording this webinar, so in a few days it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, and you will be able to check it out also in our website. All right, so we're going to start. So this is going to be our agenda for today. As you can see, the calibrations and key resets are going to be in the last part of the presentation, but before focusing on that, I just wanted to mention a few important things related to coverage and new connectors that we have launched, and also some other things related to connectivity, talking about lever manufacture. Okay. So first of all, it is important to be mentioned that Kojali is making big efforts on the off-highway side. New makes, new models, and new systems, together with technical information, have been added in the software along the different updates. And the jump given in this coverage side has been huge, especially during the latest ones. At this moment, we're talking about more than 100 makes. If we put together the different vehicle and equipment categories within this module, we're talking about construction and earth-moving machinery, material handling equipment, stationary engines, and street sweepers. So just to summarize, in the last update, in the 20.1 version that was released in March, we had some important innovations on both hardware and software sides. So talking about hardware, we released the new V9 link that in general is going to work faster. Also, the weight, as you can see, some of you are already using, is going to be lighter, and in general is going to be better. Also, the materials have been improved. The outside part is made of rubber, so in general, it has a better design. And also, we'll see some other improvements in a few slides. No worries. Talking about the software, there have been also some changes. Now we have a new graphical user interface. The usability is going to be as easy as always. This is one of the most important things we have in Jaltest. We want to make it as easy as possible for the user, and we kept that in the graphical change. But anyway, we have given this step, and you will find a new, modern, and more elegant style, let's say. And probably some of you are already used to that. At the beginning, it was a bit shocking, the change, but I'm sure that with the use, you will get used to that, and you will like it a lot, actually. Also, we have new cables, especially for Doosan engines, for the DL2 and 3 engines. So we have a new specific cable for that. And more new things related to coverage in different manufacturers and different models and so on. I just wanted to highlight a couple of them, talking about the main manufacturers, Volvo and Caterpillar, and especially focused on wheel loaders. So we have coverage for calibration of the transmission in Volvo wheel loaders, and also in Caterpillar we get the system display in the transmission system as well. All right, talking about wheel loaders. And of course, more wiring diagrams and more technical information have been added in the latest version, and much more is coming in the 20.2 version that is going to be released very soon in few weeks at the end of June next month. Okay. So whenever we talk about coverage, we are talking about brands, models, and systems. This slide is just to show you how many different electronic models it is possible to find in this kind of equipment. In most of the cases, the engine is going to be the main system when it comes to repair. We know that. However, Jaltest doesn't work just on the engine side. We go further. We developed the tool to cover the rest of the electronic systems as well, and to be able to provide both diagnostics and bidirectional controls in all of them. So as you can see, we have after treatment, we have engine, we have central computer, hydraulic systems, instrumentation, transmissions, and so on. It's not just diagnostics, but also these bidirectional controls where you can calibrate all these elements. Sorry about that. Now we're going to talk about new connectors that we have together with the V9 link. Okay, so together with the arrival of this V9 link at the beginning of the present month in May, we also have 3 new connectors added. They are going to be the 9-pin connector, the OBD2 connector, and the multi-pins set. This is because the main change has been done in the connection to the link itself on both cables and device. So the older version of these cables won't work on this V9 link. Okay, the connection ports in the link are not on the surface anymore, as it used to be in previous link versions. And also these cables, specifically these 2 cables, the OBD2 and the 9-pin connector, they come with a safety wheel to ensure a more secure connection. The same happens with the USB cable. Now the entry port is not on the surface anymore, and the cable has been reinforced as well. However, the rest of the off-highway adapters remain the same, since they just need to be connected to the OBD2 connector. For all of you guys already using Jaltest, and just in case you wished, there is a special program to upgrade to the V9 link at a special price. And of course, on top of the new link, you will be receiving the hard case with the new connectors. And if you want to know more details about this special promotion and how to get it, please contact your Jaltest distributor, or just send us an email or give us a call, and we will explain how to go for it. Now we're going to talk about the connectivity to lever. On lever, we have 3 main control systems, as you can see in the column of the left side, in the first column. And the first 2 of them are going to communicate through RS232 communication protocol, which needs a special connector or adapter with internal electronics. It is the one that you can see on the screen on the right side, and which reference is going to be the JDC542A. On the other hand, the last of these systems, the ECU2, will communicate through the CAN protocol. To get connected to this system, we will use the 9-pin connector, which is already included in the initial kit. Okay. In conclusion, if you are working with lever machinery and you want to have access to all the ECUs, you might want to consider getting this cable, the JDC542A. Now we jump into the calibrations and key resets. So here there are the 4 calibrations and resets that we have chosen for today's webinar. We're going to cover them all in a few seconds by using the software. And as you can see, most of the vehicles or machines that we have selected are very common models out there, and the bidirectional actions and controls chosen are going to be very important from a maintenance point of view. We have picked different vehicles. You can see there is a wheel loader, an excavator, a lift platform, and also a skid steer loader from different manufacturers. So you can see how much versatile Jaltest is and how many possibilities it has to offer. But before going there, I would like to say that if you want to be up to date on everything that is new in Jaltest and also be aware of new webinars, vlogs, and so on, I strongly recommend you to follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and also check our website. This is going to be our contact information, just in case you have some questions regarding OffHighway or any other matter related to Jaltest. You can reach out to us by phone, by email, or you can also go to our website. We have some form over there. Also, feel free to contact us if you have some ideas in mind or some topics that you would like us to cover or you would like us to treat during next webinar sessions. We're quite open and flexible on the content creation, guys. So anything could be done. Just let us know your ideas, and we will adapt the content to your needs. Okay. So now I'm gonna jump into the software so that you can see all these calibrations and key resets that I just showed you before. I will stop sharing this screen. Just 1 second. There we are. You should be seeing right now the software. Actually, the new version, the 20.1, the one I told before, with the new design and so on. All right, so the first calibration or the first case study is going to be the transmission calibration on a Caterpillar 950 series, which is a wheel loader. So as always, to do that, we just go to manual, then OffHighway and construction equipment. And here we have on the left side all the different manufacturers. Also, we have it displayed here in the middle of the screen. So I just need to click on Caterpillar. And before connecting to the vehicle, I just want to make a small reminder here. For Caterpillar and Volvo, please keep in mind that you have this machine system scan button on the top of the screen. By clicking on this button, you will be able to identify the different systems, the different ECUs, the different modules that you have in your vehicle. Okay, just being connected to the vehicle. Of course, you need to have power from the vehicle, just the key on. And by clicking on the machine system scan, you will identify the different systems automatically. So you don't need to go manually and select your family and your model. All right, so this is, I repeat, this is going to be especially for Volvo and for Caterpillar, just because they have a special way of communication. So we're going to be able to do that. For the rest of manufacturers, we will need to go manually, as I'm going to do right now so that you can see. So in this case, we're talking about 950 models. So I go to 900 series, and then 950 is the one that we want to go to. Okay, so here you can find different things. First of all, you have all the system scan, just in case you want to make a scan of all the different systems in the vehicle, or you can just go for the main system scans. So we have the after treatment, engine and transmission. Also, we have frequent tests that are going to be shortcuts to frequent test carried out in these different systems, so you can just play with that. So these are going to be the frequent tests to be performed in the after treatment system, also in the engine, depending on the engine configuration that you have, of course, and so on. All right, so the same for maintenance resets. I just wanted to show you this, just for you to keep in mind that you have this option here. In this case, we're going to calibrate the transmission, so I'm going to go to the transmission. We just need to select it, and we're going to see which are the connection options. So we have two different connection options. As it is usual in Caterpillar, we have two connectors, the 505A, which is going to be this one that we have over here. All right, you can see the pins distribution and also different possible locations. Location 1, you can see with the arrow over there. Location 2, or location 3. So as you can see, the software is going to be quite helpful when trying to connect to any piece of machinery, especially in the off-highway world. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find all these diagnostic ports in the vehicle. So all these pictures are going to be of great help. So let's say that we have this connector in our vehicle. I just need to click on connect. We are already connected to the transmission. Okay, so we want to calibrate the transmission. So basically, with this test, we will calibrate the components of the transmission that have been replaced and solve the malfunctioning caused by the wear of the different system components. For example, after replacing the brake pedal sensor or after replacing the transmission oil temperature sensor. Why is this important? Well, this is important because if we don't perform this calibration, the system won't identify the new parts and will continue to function as if the repairs have not been made, making it less efficient in its operation. Okay, so in this case, specifically in this case, the transmission in the 900K incorporates automatic shifting, and it was designed to be used in its automatic mode for the best performance and fuel economy. So therefore, with the calibration, somehow we make sure that all the components are working properly and the wheel loader is going to operate efficiently. All right, so once we are connected in the transmission, the calibration is going to be over here. I just click on transmission calibration. Of course, we're going to need to introduce the expert mode code. This is something I already have it set up automatically. Remember that anytime that you write on the ECM, anytime that you are going to do some changes on the electronic units, you will need to introduce your expert mode code, okay? Here we have, as in any bidirectional action, in the first screen, the first step we're going to find is information about the action that we are about to perform, okay? So in this case, information about the action, as I said before, and also some important instructions to be taken into account. For instance, before starting the process, prevent any person from approaching the vehicle operation area, since the components that will be calibrated may move. Also, place the vehicle on a flat surface without obstacles within 5 meters. And also some important notes. It is advisable that there are no active fault codes in the system except for the codes related to the calibration. Okay, so first screen information, initial instructions to be taken into consideration. The second step is going to be always initial conditions that we need to meet in order to carry out the action correctly. So in this case, we have that the engine speed must be between 1,800 and 3,500 RPM. Also, the parking brake must be activated. The forward reverse level must be in neutral position, and the transmission oil temperature must be between 65 and 95 Celsius, or in Fahrenheit, 149 and 203 Fahrenheit. All right. So whenever we have these check marks here, now they are moving because we are in a demo mode, but in a real case, if we are meeting all the initial conditions, we will have the check mark in all of them, and we are good to go. Then we'll start the process. We'll start the calibration. And the test process has been completed. All right. So as you can see, pretty simple. This is the calibration for the transmission in a Caterpillar wheel loader. I'm going to disconnect from this one, and we're going to go to the second of the case studies. The second one is going to be the implement configuration or the attachment configuration on a John Deere 350G, which is going to be an excavator. Okay. And there are some special things to comment about it. So as always, from the main screen, same process of highway and construction equipment. So just to show you a different way to get to the model, I'm just gonna filter by name here. So just go John Deere, and we want the 350. So if you realize, we can filter by name, or we could even filter by system, or we could filter by category. As you can see, we have different options here: dozers, excavators, motor graders, and so on. All right. So let's go again. This is going to be the excavator that we want to work to. All right. So in this case, special thing here for this action, we want to configure. We want to set the implement, the attachment. In some models, everything related to hydraulics is going to be in the hydraulic systems. In some other models, anything related to the hydraulics configuration is going to be on the central computer. So it will depend on the machinery. Usually the big machines, they will have their own hydraulic systems, but in others, we have it in the central computer. So in this case, I just go to central computer, and then I go to the tier 3, stage 3, which is going to be the one that we want to connect to. Okay, so basically this is an action that will allow us to set the values or the parameters for the different attachments used in the excavator. Okay, I will show you right now. There are only two ways to perform this parameter setting. One is with the OEM tool and their connectors, and the other one is with Jaltest diagnostics. All right, so this is something exclusive that we have, and well, we have developed recently, so just keep it in mind. Important thing here also on the connection, the selection of the connection. As you probably know, John Deere machinery comes from Hitachi. So therefore, in order to not only diagnose, but also to perform bidirectional tests, we're going to need a specific Hitachi connector. In this case, it's going to be the JDC 535A. So in this case, the cable is going to require external power supply from the later cable, for example, and that's it. All right. So to connect. And we're already connected to the body computer, where we're going to find the possibilities to modify these or to configure these implements, this attachment. Why is this important? Well, this is important because it is necessary every time that we change the attachment. For instance, the hydraulic breaker, the pulverizer, the hammer, or whatever, we need to set this this configuration. Okay, so you will find it here under parameters, and here you have all the different implements. So you can either display or modify. I'm going to modify again. Expert mode code. Initial conditions: engine stopped, vehicle parked, fully charged battery, and continue the process. And here, as you can see, we have implement 1, implement type. We expand. We have all the different types of attachment that we can use in this excavator. Okay, so every time that we change this attachment, as I said before, hydraulic breaker, pulverizer, crusher bucket, vibratory hammer, and so on, we need to come here and just select the one that we're working on. Each attachment has its own operating operating parameters established by the manufacturer. However, they can be modified by the user or by us as we want or as we wish. As you can see here, you have different options. Okay. At work, all we have to do is select the desired attachment from the list. So let's say that we want to work on the hydraulic breaker. There we are. And this way we are letting our ECU know that we have changed the attachment and that we want the machine to work and behave correctly and according to the parameters previously set by the manufacturer or by yourself for that particular attachment. It is not necessary to configure these values every time that we change the attachment. So once modified for the first time, we just need to switch from one attachment to the other one so that the ECU behaves accordingly. Okay, so when we click on any of these fields to change, for instance, some cool things that you can do, you can change, like the oil flow adjustment of the hydraulic pump, and you have it for different pumps. So let's say you can somehow adjust the amount of oil that you want in your pumps. So whenever you want to change and click on that, there you have a pop-up window with the range of values that are recommended. Okay, so in this case, we need to have a value between, sorry about that, between 118 and 236. Okay, for this one. So different options: the engine operating speed adjustment, secondary oil pressure relief valve, pressure accumulator, speed control, and so on. And this is going to be, as I said before, for all the different attachments. So we just need to select the configuration. Of course, we need to put this between the range. So I will say just 200 here, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to move forward. I'll say 200 again and 50, for instance. All right, so we should be good to go. There we are. Okay, the parameter setting process has finished, and the current values are displayed next. This is just changing because it's a demo mode, as you know. And that's it. This is pretty simple, as you can see. Just keep in mind that you will need the Hitachi connector to do that, and that's it. And also keep in mind that sometimes the hydraulic possibilities are going to be in the body computer, and some other times the hydraulic configuration is going to be under the hydraulic system. It will depend on the machinery. Okay. I'm just going to disconnect here, and we're going to jump into the third of the case studies. So we talk about resets, that we were going to cover resets. So here we are. So the third of the case studies is going to be the reset of the PRB valve on the GLG 600 series, which is a lift platform. Okay, so as I said before, pretty simple from the main screen of highway and construction equipment. And we just want to go to GLG. So scroll down. GLG, and it's going to be a 600 series, this lift platform with the baskets, and we're going to work on this engine. It's going to be a Deutsch engine. For this one, you're going to need also a specific connector. In this case, it's going to be the 5048. And just connect. So what is this reset of the PRV? So the PRV valve performs the fuel pressure relief in the injection rail automatically, being activated if there is overpressure. So when the valve opening cycle reaches its maximum value, the valve must be replaced and the counter must be reset to 0. It is very common to find this valve on these lift platforms or X6ers. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on the bus kind of speed that we want. And this is gonna be under maintenance. Okay, I know it was hard, but so let's say that you don't know or you don't remember where to find this reset, so you can always use these search bars on the top of the screen to help you in the search. So, as you can see, I just need to type PRB and immediately the software takes you wherever it is. So there we have it, pressure relief. Valve reset. So we have either the automatic or the manual process. I will go for the automatic one. And this test is important because it's needed every time that we replace the valve in order to avoid the engine power limitation. Okay. So as in any action, as we saw before, the first step is going to be information about what we are doing. Second step is going to be initial conditions. In this case, the engine must be stopped. Do you wish to perform this reset? Yes, I want. Maintenance will be performed next. So here you have the duty cycles I was talking before. So you can check, and you have even more extra information here. All right. Duty cycles of the fuel pressure relief valve operating cycle counter. The current value of the valve operating cycle counter is displayed. It will be necessary to perform the corresponding maintenance when the counter value is higher than the maximum value determined by the control unit. So basically what we explained before, and we follow the steps. Everything, as you can see, is very well explained. You just need to follow all the different instructions given, and that's it. The process has finished and the current values are displayed now. So this is the way we can reset these values, okay, for the PRB valve on the different engines that you will find commonly in lift platforms, for example, okay. So let me disconnect from this one and get back to the initial screen. I don't want to save the report. And the last of the case studies that we're going to be covering today in this webinar session is going to be the reset of the maintenance counter on a Bobcat S700 series. We are talking about a skid steel loader. Okay, in this case, we're going to be connected also through the body computer, and we're going to need also some specific connectors. So I will show you right now. So again, OffHighway and construction equipment, in this case, Bobcat, as you can see there in alphabetical order, so that you can easily locate the brand that you want to work to. So we said before that we wanted to work in a S700 series. So there we are. And in this case, it's going to be the sensor computer, the body computer. You can see, you always have this system scan, frequent test, and maintenance resets, as I mentioned before, so that you can somehow shortcut and work faster on the repair. Important, the connector, okay? So this reset of the maintenance is the reset to be carried out whenever the user wants to restart the periodic maintenance counter. One of the most important parts of preventive maintenance for compact construction machinery is the routine service. So once it has been performed, the technician must reset all these counters so that the alert turns off and the new maintenance cycle gets started. All right. So as I said before, this is going to be done through the body computer system, and we will need a special connector for that. In this case, it's going to be the 539A adapter, which allows to perform diagnostics actions without having a key. Okay, an exclusive connector for proprietary Bobcat systems. And thanks to the morphology of this cable, as you can see, we're talking about a two-head cable. We will be able to connect to the canvas without opening the circuit. And this is important, guys, because this is something that we are the only ones in having it. So this is something that you can do just with Jaltest, talking about the aftermarket diagnostic solutions. All right. So this recent maintenance is going to be important, and we're going to need this this connector that we have here on the screen. Okay. This is going to be the pins distribution, and this is going to be the location on the skid steer loader. All right. So once we have it selected, just click on connect, as always. Okay, and it's going to be on maintenance and maintenance reset. Again, expert mode code and the information. This reset must be performed whenever the user wants to restart the periodic maintenance contours. We already said that. Initial conditions, in this case, the engine must be stopped and the vehicle should be parked. Okay. Whenever we're good to go, we should have the check marks, and we press the check mark and we follow the steps. In this case, it says, hey, attention, to perform this section, it is mandatory to use direct connection. Next, turn the ignition key to the stop position and place the switch in the position 1, then continue with the process. Place the switch in the position 0 and then place it again in the position 1. After that, continue the process. Finally, place the switch in the position 0 and turn the ignition key to the on position again, then continue the process. And the current values are displayed right now. So that we have the maintenance interval state, the engine operation hours, and time to the next maintenance. In this case, it's going to be 250 hours. And there it is. As you can see, it's pretty simple to go through all these different calibrations and key resets. It's not really difficult. Sometimes we just think that we cover the engine, but no, it's not like that. As I said before, in Jaltest, we're working to develop the tool in a way that we have coverage for all the different electronic systems, and we have all these different calibrations and the parameter changing, system checks, and so on available for the different systems, not just for the engine. Okay. Also, keep in mind that our coverage is growing more and more every time. There is room for improvement, and we're working on that. And now, at the end of June, in the 20.2 version, you will see new things that are coming. So, as I said, please pay attention to our website, pay attention to our social media, LinkedIn and Facebook, and be aware of all these new things as well, okay? So whenever this new update is available, you will find it here in the bottom of the screen, as always, that there is a new update available. So you just need to click on that, download it, and enjoy it, all right? So let me just answer this screen, just in case you want to write down again our contact information. So that you want to write us or to call us or send us some questions. Just a second, share content. There we are. So there it is. So this is our customer support phone number. Also, our email address and our website, just in case you have some questions related to this webinar. I hope you like it. I hope if you had questions, you could go through it with the chat with Isidro. And again, whenever you have more questions, just send us an email and we will give you answer to all of them. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us today, and we wait you for the next Jaltest webinar session. All right. Also, in our website, you have the calendar for next sessions and the topics that will be covered in each of them. So just go through it. And thank you very much, and have a very nice weekend to all of you. I will disconnect the audio right now, but I will pay attention to the chat just in case there is some questions over there, and give answers to all of them. So thank you again, and see you next time. Bye bye.